there comes a point when even I, with all my calm and quiet, am just too effed up. Now, it is known that I have a bit of a drive shaft issue with this particular vehicle. Now, I contacted someone who races these to get a new set of shafts, no matter the cost. Truly, I just want to get this done. And there are new shafts in it for less than 48 hours at this point. And listen. Which is the first giveaway for this. Okay, so I have removed the drive shaft, and I have to bring you up to speed in the entire situation here right now, because this is a bit of a mess. And I didn't actually want to do anything on this today. I just wanted to drive around with it and talk rather about the fact why there's no workbench here and where all the tables are and why it seems like there's change. But instead, I'm faced with a drive shaft conundrum. Now, looking at these, this is the shaft that I pulled out of the vehicle when I got it. We'll get to that in a second. It felt weird, and this was torn, so I was like, okay, let's get a new one. So I bought this one, an SKF branded, usually very high quality part. Put it in, and it is binding because this distance seems to be too long. Now, because I need the car to be drivable in order to get it registered at all, I refurbished this shaft. I put a new thing in and seemed all right, fit reasonably well. I still had a noise, and this is where I left you off in the last episode. Now, in the meantime, I had contacted someone who races these cars, who got me this. Now, this is not supposed to be two-part, and this was in there for less than 48 hours, driven twice. And on a sharp right-hand turn, I put power down, not excessively, but enough. And I had a massive clunking noise, like a tuk tuk tuk, and the shifter came out, but then it kind of settled. And now I know what the problem is. The engagement on this part is just not enough. And as you can see, it has just wallowed itself out because it sits in there like so. And through the cornering force, it got pushed out and then it pulled out, which in turn made a whole bloody mess of this part. Now, coming back to this shaft, I might have to refurbish this again in hopes of it being complete enough to fix, or make one shaft out of these three. Because quite honestly, what I wanted to do today requires a car, and I don't have a spare vehicle currently sitting around that I would like to replace this with, which is part of what I wanted to do in the first place, or talk about in the first place. So, of all the vehicles, none are running, and I have so much hate for this drive shaft issue now. And I also don't have a tripod here, I don't have a light here, I have no tools. I'm like, oh. I got curious what made my first shaft fail, and it is the exact same thing. This is the bearing that is still there, and the other two have disintegrated and given up because they went over this hump here and killed it. Well, it deformed the housing quite aggressively, and there's the marks of it here. So yeah, I have now two deformed housings, and quite honestly no idea what I'm going to do next. I had some hopes that the SKF, the new one, would be alright enough to get me home. But if I put it in, even with a bit of steering angle, but at full lock it's the worst. It is binding. What I actually wanted to do today is give you a little bit of an overview of what we have, what the project status is, and maybe a sneak peek into the future. Let me spin you around. Let me spin you around and give you an overview. So, this is a 1988 928 S4. And this is the result of a restoration in between season 2 and season 3. It's too tight. It's not actually something for the channel. Maybe we can do a trip in this, but yeah. This is part of the reason why the workshop exists as it does. This is not mine. It's a 72 Lancia Fulvia. This is also not really mine, but it is a project. It's an 86 928 S2 or something. Currently automatic, might become a manual. You all know this one. This is our trusty old Range Rover Classic, which has been sitting here collecting dust for a very long time. And wait, let me climb on top here. And it is actually drivable. It's not registered, and it would need some TLC, but it should be actually very well ready to drive. The OG. Swooping over this way, that is a 1978 924 Turbo. This is a project car, and I'm not going to tell you for what. You probably won't see this for a very long time. But if you do, and the time has come, this should be wild. It was damaged in vandalism, so it's like crooked, and look at the door. And then it's rusty here and there, but all the bones are, wait, oh, the hood is so heavy on these. The bones are all there. Largely original paint. It's a good one. On the subject of a good one, I think you all know this one. The 924, the white one, the white body. That is currently sitting here because it has a broken engine, or a very well worn engine, and transmission issues. And I love it. Really. I'm a big fan of this thing, but I think it might have to go sometime this year. And these two, 2CV and Ford Consul L, which is the baby Granada, they are family cars, and we have to dig this one out. The reason I have to dig it out is because the 928 is seasonal registration only. The Lancia is registered but not really drivable. 928 is out of the question. The Rover isn't registered. The turbo doesn't work. The 2CV, not really my cup of tea. And my car has engine and gearbox problems. So for better or for worse, that 72 over there is kind of the only car that really works. And I was smart. I tested whether or not this runs beforehand. I think this might also have a broken transmission mount, but I forgot a car. There is another 924S from 1988 sitting over here, and this looks like a parts car. Rest assured, it is not. And you're definitely going to see that one before the turbo. How ironic is this? This car is 53 years old. No, 51. 51 years old. And it's the reliable choice. Now I'm going to do what every safe and sane person in my position would do. I leave this pile of utter behind. And I'm going to show you what I wanted to show you all along. It is not the car that I wanted in here, but you might be able to guess where this is going. This is very challenging for me. I have no mechanical background and I have no formal education background at all. I just happen to work in the media industry for the last decade, which is why I can make things look halfway decent. But in the scope of what this channel is and what this channel has been as my outlet just to showcase what I've been doing, I'm not really sure where I should take it, because it's quite obvious that the YouTube algorithm doesn't quite favor high quality content that doesn't really explain itself, rather than people shouting at a camera being overly excited. And it's something that I don't see myself doing. So, given that this might be a drastic change, it's a bit of a question. What do you want to see here? Why do you keep coming back? What do you think might be a way into the future? Or as other people would say it, like, comment, subscribe. I almost got over the fact that the 205 is already broken again after less than 2 days. I actually forgot to tell you why all of this stuff is even here. And that has something to do with the problem that I have with the Porsche. But you'll have to wait a couple of weeks for that. Over and out.